Hey everybody, welcome to Thursday night at LDRS Creative. We're in studio tonight for some more craft along fun. You know, I haven't asked in a long time. My goodness, do you guys have something to craft with? I hope you do. This is a craft along, so don't forget that. I know it's a wonderful place to come and, chat and kind of gab with everybody, and that's a lot of fun, and we get to, play with some crafting and stuff. But don't forget, this is a great time for you guys to craft too. Even though you're watching me, doesn't mean you can't be doing some coloring or some crocheting or whatever it is that gives you joy and lets you express yourself creatively. So tonight, well, first of all, hello. So good to see you guys all here, or kind of virtually. This is something I really look forward to each week, so it's always an absolute pleasure. And I actually got done a little bit early today. I didn't know what I was going to work on. When I came up here to the studio to craft, I thought, what do I want to work on? And I thought, somebody that has been on my mind a lot lately is actually my mom. She passed away a couple of years ago, and we were incredibly close. And she always had impatiens. Every year, that's something that she planted in the garden and in the front of the house. And she always had impatiens. It's something that doesn't require a lot of sun, and our house was north facing, and so it didn't get like bright sun or anything. And so impatiens were absolutely perfect. And I thought, she's been on my mind a lot lately, especially with Mother's Day, on its way here soon. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to work with a stamp set. It's not a stamp set, but it's a 6x6, big 6x6 stamp, and it's actually called Impatiens. And so with her in mind and in my heart, I thought I would play with this today. And so then the question was, what am I going to do? And I haven't done anything with the resist technique in a really long time. So I thought it would be fun to do something like that. I didn't want to be spending a lot of time coloring and painting and stuff. I just really wanted to just kind of take it easy and do something that was very impactful, in terms of, the beauty of it, but also very simple to create. I thought that would be something fun to work with. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I also want to mention that my producer husband, Alan, if you're wondering why you didn't see him in the comment section in the 10 minutes before we went live, he's actually tending to his real job. He's he's the IT director for a prominent law firm that's here in Michigan as well as across the country, and they have an international presence as well. And he has got to deal with one of their offices. He deals with their entire network infrastructure, and he built their data centers. And I could brag about him for a long time because he's absolutely brilliant. But he's also responsible when they have, for fixing things when they have a big issue in one of their offices. So that's something that he's dealing with right now. So hopefully he'll be able to get that resolved, and then he'll be able to join in, because I know he enjoys chit-chatting with everybody too. So so for now, if you have any questions, I don't know if Stephanie's on, I don't know if Lene is on. Hopefully they will be able to answer any questions that you might have, because Alan's not going to be able to pass those on to me. If he is able to join us, then I will let you know that too. So it's going to be a little bit different tonight. And I do need him to switch the camera to camera. Let's go to camera 2 right now. So he is standing by for those kind of instructions. So this is what we're going to work with today. This is a big stamp. This is actually a rubber stamp. Look at the back of that. It's absolutely beautiful. I love these zoomed in flowers. I mean, these are almost the size of real Impatiens flowers. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to open this up so you can see. This is a rubber stamp. Because it's such a big stamp and it really covers up your entire sheet, there's no reason to see through it. It's a repetitive stamp. So this doesn't have to be a clear stamp, but you can see how big this is. And it's got this really beautiful light gray rubber that I think is just really pretty. We very specifically I chose the actual shade of gray that I wanted our rubber stamps to be. I think it's really pretty, and it's just softer to look at instead of that bright red. It doesn't stamp any different than any red, rubber stamp. It's just the color that I have them mix in because I think it's really pretty and it's soft. So anyway, you can see how beautiful and how detailed this stamp is. And it's already got the foam on it, so this is ready to go into your stamping platform. So I wanted to pull in a few other things. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do, but I knew I was going to do an A2 card, and it seems that every time I do an A2 card, I always grab my A2 stitch layered card toppers. I love these. We've got the 3 larger sizes in here, so it starts with your outer A2 size, and then it increments down. And we have beautiful stitching in there, so you guys have seen me work with that. I also pulled this in. This is one that you saw in, this is from our February collection, but I haven't worked with it yet. I think this is in February or March. I think it's February though, but I haven't worked with it yet. This one is called Handwritten. I love the font in this. This was just a really, really fun sentiment set to do. And as we started building this sentiment set, we thought it would be really pretty to add some beautiful floral pieces in here. And then when I grabbed this one today to work with, because I wanted these 2 sentiments right here, I thought, oh my goodness, all of these little pieces in here are the perfect size to use with the Pirouette Pattern Builder. So now I'm gonna have to do another another video with the Pirouette Pattern Builder because I want to use the beautiful florals and leaves that are in this set, and I think it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. And then the last piece that I decided to pull in was my Pastel Patterns. This is the 6x6, and I'm using this because I'm doing an A2 card. We have this in 6x6. We also have this in 4x9. This is for our February collection. And it's just got some beautiful, beautiful geometric patterns in here. And I really wanted to use this gorgeous gingham in this pale green. So that worked out really nicely. So here's my little bag of goodies. If Alan will do me a favor and switch to camera 3, here we go, then I think we're going to be able to get started. So actually, I'm going to do this off camera because I don't want to show everything just yet. So let me show you the pieces that I have so far. I'm going to show you what I'm going to, this is what I'm going to create right here. And we're going to do this with simple blending, and it's really, really easy to do. So I want to show you, let me think, what else do I have in here? What else are you going to need for this? So I use a stamping platform. I happen to use a Misty. Because this is, because this stamp is so big, it's not going to fit in the mini Misty, so you're going to use like the regular standard sized one. So it fits in here, and actually this is my Hero Arts one, which is my favorite because it's black, but I actually taped down that little foam piece that's under there, and I don't want to undo that, so I'm going to set my black one aside, and I'm going to pull out the original one, and this one, I'm warning you, is really messy. You can tell how much I love these. I use them constantly. So I pulled this one out because this was my original, because I didn't tape down my little foam piece in there. And because I'm working with a rubber stamp, this is much thicker, I don't want to have that foam piece in there. So you're going to see how this is going to fit in here really nicely. So I went ahead, I don't have, a pad of paper or anything to put back in there, so I just grabbed a piece of cardstock and I put that down because I'm going to be stamping with this humongo stamp, and I didn't want to stamp off on, to the stamping tool at all. So go ahead and remove that little, acetate piece that's there. And you can see on the stamp here, even though the picture doesn't necessarily go all the way out to the edge, you can see that the stamp itself goes all the way out to the edge. Okay, so if I place that right in the corner there, I can go ahead and pick this up. There we go. I don't have, because I don't have anything in here, I don't have anything building it up, it wasn't reaching. So now the next thing I used is this is my blender card that I use because I'm going to be doing color blending, and I haven't done color blending in a little while. So this is what I use whenever I'm blending. I use Strathmore Bristol Smooth Surface. This is what it looks like. We do have this in the store, And so this, in my opinion, is going to be color blending. So I've already got a piece of that and it's cut to A2. So I'm going to just put that in the corner. I don't need a magnet or anything for this because the rubber stamps are not sticky. I don't have to have a rubber mat. But I will say this, I'm not rubber mat, magnet, I mean. I will say this though, once I put the ink on here, because I'm going to be using my LDRS Creative, this is my watermark, this is what we use when we're going to be doing embossing, and that's what I'm going to be doing is embossing. When I put that on here, that's going to be sticky and that's going to lift up the paper, but that's going to be a positive thing. Alan, we switched to camera 2. This is almost too close up. I think we're going to be better if we do it this way. Yeah, that's much better. So here's what we're going to need. So you want to have either, a watermark, or if you have one that's called, embossing ink or whatever it is. I mean, there's different names depending on who manufactured them. And then you're also going to need your anti-static powder. I have mine in a little pouch that I've had for probably 20 years. And I've got, this is our LDRS white embossing powder, and then this is the little tray that I put it in. So you need to have that handy, and then you're also going to need to have a heat tool. I'm going to go ahead and heat up my heat tool for a moment because I always like it to be good and hot before I start the embossing. So just get that going a little bit. Now, let me move stuff over here. Now I have white cardstock, and I'm going to be doing, the watermark is clear, and then I'm going to be using white embossing powder over white. So I'm going to go ahead and use my anti-static all over that. And then now I'm going to go ahead and ink this up really well. And you're not going to see it because it is clear. But I do want to ink it up pretty well. And you're going to see in a moment why I don't have that magnet on there. Let me see if I can pick this up. There we go. So I've got my stamping tool, so I'm pressing that down to apply even pressure all around. And then it should, it didn't pick it up. I was hoping it would pick it up. All right, I'm going to press that down. I wanted to pick up that paper, so I may not have put enough. Oh. Nope, I didn't get enough in there. Arrgh. Let's ink that up some more. I might need another piece of paper under here because it doesn't look like it's touching. Doesn't look like it's reaching all the way down in there. I may have to put another piece of paper just to bump that up a bit. We'll see. There we go. Now I got it. So I'm going to go ahead and give this, ooh, I just smeared it. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just going to lift it up at this point. I didn't do it. I'm going to have to do that again because I messed it up. I need another piece of paper underneath here. And I think I've got something over here because it's just not giving me the height that I need. What? Oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter. He's telling me it's dirty on the back. Are you back? Are you with us, Alan? No. Almost? Okay, good. So I'm going to do this again. Sometimes you just have to build it up a little bit. And do I have another piece of my, actually, you know what? I can do it on the back side of that and it'll be fine. So I'll just use the back side of it. So this is what happens in studio. You know, we sometimes have little mishaps. You guys have seen me have mishaps before. So hopefully this time it will work better. There we go. Let's get some pressure in there. because I really want to get as much of that embossing ink on there as I can. Let's hope it picked it up. It's dropping it again. Ah, it's not grabbing it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let me really press hard. Make sure I'm making contact. I don't know. For some reason, I'm not getting enough on there. I don't know. I just don't think I'm making contact with the paper. Oh, actually, from the angle, I can, actually, I think I am. I think maybe part of my problem is lighting. Uh-oh. I think it's just that I'm not seeing it in the light. There we go. There we go. Now I've got it. I'm going to press that down, make sure I ink that really well. I would take my stamping tool over that, but I've got other ink out in here and I don't want to get that on there. So here we go. Took me 15 minutes to do it, but but I did it. That shouldn't have been that difficult. I think part of it was that I just couldn't see with the lighting that I have in here. I couldn't see that it was inked. So I'm going to go ahead and put my embossing powder on. I think it's, you know what, I think happened too now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think I remembered to use my anti-static powder when I was crafting earlier, and I think having that on there prevented it prevented the paper from sticking to the stamp like I really wanted it to do, because I wanted it to stick to the stamp so that I could press on it from the back side. So I think that was part of my problem too. Okay, so now that I have that done, oh boy, better get this thing out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and get this heated up. Anna, can you switch to camera 3? Okay, so this is where all the magic happens. I'm not going to do this whole thing because I already have one done. And we could sit there for a few minutes. But I want you to see the difference in case you haven't ever seen this before. See how it gets really white and shiny in some places and then the rest it's dull? It's white and shiny where it has reacted with the heat. And so when you're done with it, this is what you're going to get, where the whole thing looks white and shiny. And it's always fun to watch that happen. It's like magic. I love watching it happen. So I'm going to set this one aside because it's kind of boring for you guys to sit there and watch me do that for the next few minutes. So where do we go from here? This is where we get to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to get a little scrap piece of paper out because whenever I'm blending, I'm messy. I've got, let me see, I've got 4 inks that I'm pulling out for this. All right, so this first one is Soft Kiss, it's upside down, but Soft Kisses. This one is Tickled Pink. And then I've got Prickly Pear Perfection, and then this is Olive Branch. All right, so all I need are these 4 colors. Now, you could do this with a different combination if you wanted like a light purple and a dark purple, or a light blue and a dark blue. And it's really, really easy. I'm only doing 2 colors on the leaves and 2 colors on the flowers. All right, so I'm going to stack these up and put them out of the way right now. I do want to show you guys something though. Do you see these? Yay! You guys have been saying, you know, when are you going to have your blender brushes? When are they coming? Well, these are on the way. We will hopefully have these within the next couple of weeks. But these are 2 that I have, and notice it is a beautiful black because I like to have my tools. You can see this is black as well. I like them to be black. That way, when we get, you know, ink or something, it just doesn't show any of the dirt or the mess on them. So I like that. And so we have LDRS Creative is right here in white. So you have the logo on there, and we have this beautiful white brush so that you're going to be able to see the color that you've used. We're also going to have labels that you know, can go on the back, and you're going to be able to. You're actually going to. We're not pre-labeling them with the color of the ink because. You know, I understand that you guys have a lot of inks. You may have our inks, you may have inks from another company. So we will have labels, but the labels are going to be blank, and you'll be able to write whatever color you want on there, you know, or you can ink it up, you know, in the color that you want, but you'll be able to see it on the back. They're going to fit there. So these are on their way, and I'm just so excited about them. But I'm going to use these today. So I'm going to use one for the pinks and one for the greens, which is not normally what I do because I always like to have one for each color, but I've only got these two. So you make do with what you have. So let's see. Those are going to be coming soon, and I will announce when those are in. So for this right now, we're going to start with Soft Kisses. Are you back with us?
Did you use clear embossing powder?
I used white embossing powder. Yep, I did use white embossing powder because I want it to really show up a beautiful, you know, brilliant white. So I'm going to start with Soft Kisses. Get that inked up. Look at that. It's so pretty. So I'm going to go off a little bit. And, you know, you can very clearly see which, you know, like where the flowers are on here. So I always brush off and then I brush on. So I brush off so that we get rid of any of that harsh, you know, scratchiness. And then I blend on. Look how pretty. It's so soft. And just kind of go around on the flower. Here's another one over here. Now I am being a little bit careful. I'm going to turn this around. I want to go up into each of those little petals, but I'm trying not to cross too far over it right now because we do have leaves that I want to be aware of in there. There we go. And I'm not too concerned about whether or not I cover the entire flower right now because we are going to kind of come back over it a little bit and add a few layers where we're, you know, putting some final touches in there. All right, so I'm kind of getting like right in the center to begin with. There we go. I'm not pressing really hard. I'm doing this really, really soft and gentle and just making little circles because I don't want it to be really harsh or really strong. Harsh is probably not the best word, but I don't want it to be really strong color. At least not yet. There we go. Let's see where I may have, looks like I have a little bit of one down here and a little bit right here at the edge. I think I've also got a little bit right over here. And I think that looks good with that one for right now. So that is Soft Kisses. I'm gonna go, let me think. I'm gonna leave the, I'm not gonna move on to, what did I say this was, Tickled Pink? I'm not gonna move on to that just yet. I'm gonna leave Tickled Pink aside. So now I'm gonna go to Prickly Pear Perfection, which is the lighter kind of yellowy green. And I'm gonna collect some of that. See how that looks. See how it's pretty yellow? Kind of yellowy green, lime-like. And I'm just going with like the tip of my little blender brush here. So I'm just picking it up in that corner you can see. And I'm going to get right in and just kind of get those leaves a little bit in between. And again, it doesn't matter if it's perfect. Oh, somebody's saying, can you explain these brushes?
Well, that's my comment.
Oh, that's your comment?
Yeah, so this is a bunch of the questions.
Okay.
When you
Oh,
go,
when will we have them? Where will they be? How will they be sold? Are they all the same size? Okay. I'm hoping they're going to arrive within the next 2 weeks. We're going to have them on our website, and I think I think we're just gonna sell them individually. I just want to make it as easy for you guys to get them as possible, however many you want or need. And I don't want you to have to commit to like a whole big pack of them or anything. Um, and So we'll see. I mean, we're still figuring some of that out. To be honest with you, are they all the same size? Yes, they are. I happen to have a favorite size for the brushes that I have used. And the ones that you normally see me use are a little bit smaller than I would have liked. So I actually increased the size of this just a little bit. The ones that you normally see me use are just they're just makeup brushes that I got off of Amazon, which work well. They don't give me a place, really to, put, some labeling that I'd like to put. And it also has a much smaller brush head on it. I wanted a larger brush head so that I could get more coverage. So like I can use just a corner of this one to get less coverage in a smaller area. But if I want more coverage, I can use the all over the whole brush head. And this one is a little bit larger than the ones that you normally see me work with because I wanted to be able to get a larger space with them. So that's my explanation. I will have more details as we get closer. So now I'm going to use the same brush, which I would not normally do. I would normally have another one for the olive color. I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush a little bit over here and get some of this color off because I really loaded it up. So this is probably going to end up becoming my olive branch brush because it's my darker color, and that's what I'm picking up right now is the olive branch. So you'll see that it is darker here. Okay. So now I'm going to go over that green now, and I'm not getting complete coverage. I'm not going, full on everything that full color of what I did before with that green because I still want some of that lighter green to show. But I am coming in here and filling in some of that space a little bit and giving just a little kind of hint of the darker green on some of the leaves. Just because I think it's really pretty to kind of have that variation of that color. There we go. Maybe a little more, we'll see. Still looking a little bit yellow to me. I want to get rid of some of that yellowish color. I want that yellow to be more of a highlight. There we go. All right. Trina's saying, I have to ask, would you consider selling a set of labels for each color with the name pre-printed on them? We almost did that, and we've actually talked about, so that way, so the label will be the color of the ink.
so that's more of a stamp. Right?
No, I don't think we're going to do stamps of it, but the label would be the color of the ink. I think what we talked about doing is actually, potentially if we could do it, printing the name of the color on the labels, and then if you wanted to, and this is something I'm going to have to play with, but if you wanted to, you could go ahead and use your colors to blend to get it onto the color of the label. And the reason I would do that is to make sure that the color matches perfectly because when we go into print, our inks are made in one place and the labels would be made in another place, and I wouldn't be able to guarantee that the color was an exact match. So I think you're better off putting the color on there yourself, inking it up. But let's get back to that. That is actually something we have talked about. Once we have them in our hot little hands, we'll be able to, see what we can do with that. So now I'm switching over to my tickled pink. I'm going to rotate my scrap piece here around. So now I'm switching over to my tickled pink. Let me move this back on camera. And I want to get Tickled Pink like right in the center. That's where it's going to be really dark. And notice now I'm not brushing off because I want that color to be really vibrant. So I'm just touching that down like right in the center of each of my Impatiens so that that's really bright and vibrant right in the center. This is how I do it anyway. I mean, other people do things differently. Now I'm going to get rid of some of that Tickled Pink. And I'm going to go back to Soft Kisses. I got to clean this off a bit. One thing about these hybrids, man, they really load up color and they're just gorgeous. But this is why I like to have a different brush for each one. There we go, pretty. So let me go ahead and load this up with Tickled Pink now. Pretty. And so, I'm sorry, not Tickled Pink, with, what is it called? Soft Kisses. So now I'm going to go back over with my Soft Kisses and I'm going to widen my blend a bit. And notice how it softens that Tickled Pink because it's blending it out. And now I'm going right up to the edges of my flower petals. And it's just going to widen that color and it's going to draw more attention now to that beautiful, the beautiful edge of the petals. And at the same time, it's blending the two pinks a little bit. I still get that beautiful, vibrant color in the center, the brighter color in the center, or deeper, I should say. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty it starts to come together. And I don't worry about if I have a little bit of, that green on my flowers. The whole idea is that it's kind of abstract and just beautiful. There we go. So pretty. Isn't that gorgeous? It just screams spring. I love it. Love it. Then, here's what I like to do. This is one of my favorite things. This is my favorite part of it. Believe it or not. I have my little water bottle here. I'm going to put a tiny bit of water. Try not to get this on me. I could use this cloth, but this cloth is kind of filthy and I don't want to get any color in here. So I just have a little rag here.
Which always matches your blending.
How does that happen?
You must use the same colors every time.
I don't know. So I'm going to go over this with just a little bit of damp, cloth. And it's just going to get any excess ink off of that white, the white ink, the resist there. So you can see it picked up a little bit of that ink. And it just really brightens up that white that we embossed. And it's so pretty. Will is saying, do you have a blending brush for each color? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I am that girl. I do. I like to have a different one for every color. I like it to be dedicated. I like to know that the color is going to be the true color. I also don't want to take the time to, to be cleaning all of these and to have to deal with that. So, so now, I went in with this one, with this brush, I went in with my Soft Kisses, but then I went in with it into the Tickled Pink. So this is going to end up being my Tickled Pink brush because it's just, I can see the darker color in there, although it's not coming off on there right now, but this is going to be my tickled pink brush. Oh yes, this is what I normally have. Get that out of here. Yeah, those are going to go away because they're not all labeled, and they also have...
They're not LDRS?
No, they're not LDRS. They also have like weird colored tips on them, so I can't see the true ink color, and that drives me nuts. I very purposely wanted these to be white brushes because I want to see the color. I think it's so pretty. And so that's the way we went. And I already told you why I went with the black handles. So, okay, here we go. So you can see already how these two, look at how beautiful that is. They actually look very, very similar. I mean, they look almost like identical.
Oh, yeah. How would it be different?
Well, I thought I was going to end up with one a little bit different, and I didn't. This one, I mean, they look exactly the same. I didn't do a slimline because I'm not doing a slimline card this time. Okay, so you can see how easy that is to do, and I think the resist is just so, so pretty. And you can do that with, I mean, with any of your stamps, really. So next up, let me cover up my water because I just know that's going to end up everywhere. So I'm going to put this one aside because I'm going to get the rest of my bag of tricks over here. So I told you already that I grabbed my A2 stitch layered card toppers. So I went into my scraps, and I have a little scrap bin of papers. And well, first of all, I went into my Pastel Patterns, and that's where I grabbed this beautiful green gingham. And I think it looks really, really pretty with these flowers. And then I went into my scraps, and I found a sheet of cardstock. I don't even know what this is from. It's really, really thin. It's not ours, but it's really, really thin. And I thought that would be really pretty to have as an accent behind, between that and the green. And then I have more scraps as well. So here's what I did. You can see stitch marks on all three of these. Can you not? So I used my layered card toppers, and with the largest one, I cut the gingham. With the middle one, I cut that beautiful pink. And then with the smallest one, I cut the resist pattern that I just did with my Impatiens stamp. So these are my 3 layers, and they layer together perfectly. And so I still have some, these are some little scraps. This is just scrap from, from some of my Nina cardstock. And then this is what was cut off of that pink piece right there. So we're gonna figure all this out. What else do I have going on here? So let's see how this is going to come together. I think here's what my plan is. I'm planning on having my sentiment go across in this direction, and I'm going to have the sentiment go on here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to layer this directly to, basically what's going on in my head is where's the foam going to be. That's what's happening. Trying to figure out which layers are going to be popped up on foam. So, because I don't want it to be too thick. So these 2 layers are going to be taped right down to each other. Get that in camera so I can see, and so you guys can see where center may be. All right, there we go. Next up, this piece here is, how wide is that? This is a 3.5 inch piece. So I'm going to trim this down to 3.5 inches. This is just a scrap piece that I had. So that should now fit on there perfectly, and it's not going to be, the height that I want, but we're going to deal with that momentarily. All right, so next up comes the sentiment. The sentiment? She remembered the sentiment? She did. She remembered the sentiment. Okay. So I'm going to put this here. My sentiment is going to come from the beautiful handwritten stamps. And what I decided I want to do is put my friend on the front, and then you are beautiful is going to go on the inside. I think that's going to be just gorgeous. So let's get this going. My friend. Oops. So let me see if this is going to be the width. I have to think about, I'm trying to think about where I want to place it. I don't necessarily want it to be centered. I want it to be off to the side just a little bit, like off to the right side, I think. Or do I want left side? My friend. All right, I'm going to do left side because I'm thinking of putting a little bit of string on here. And if I don't like it, I will redo it. So that's going to go there. Let me get this other little piece out of here. I think that's straight. Let's see if I'm going to be able to do that by holding that down that way. You can touch. Looks like it. All right. Make sure that is in the corner. Got my Raven ink, and I got my Stampendable. Let me, because it's the first time I'm stamping this, so I just want to kind of condition that a little bit. See if we can make the ink stick a little better for the first time. I think I over-inked. See what happens here. Gorgeous. Perfect. Thank you, Stampendable. Because it really makes all the difference. If I were pressing like that, I could have a very uneven stamp. All right. I'm actually going to clean this up because I really over-inked it in a bad way. Gotta get more of this cleaner in. Still haven't gotten that. What am I doing? So busy with all the new collections and things that we have coming out. I don't have enough time to tend to restock stuff. So I've been a very bad girl. Why can't I put this down here? What's happening? There we go. Okay. So there's that. And then I'm going to get my other one out because I want to stamp a sentiment on the inside. So I've already got my half sheet of cardstock here. This was 8.5 by 11, and I cut it at 5.5. And now I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And this way, I always like to get it folded up before I center my stamps, because this way I can get a much better visual. I'm a very visual person. So this way I can get a much better visual on where center is. Move some of these things over. And let's see, so this is how my card is going to open. And I want to stamp "You Are Beautiful" on the inside. So pretty. I'm trying not to get my head in the camera. Is that straight? I can't tell. I can't put my head right over it. You guys would see my roots that are getting colored tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Big day for Angie. All right, let me condition this. I'm just rubbing over the stamp right now. All right. There you go. Gorgeous. If you haven't gotten your Stampendable yet, look how beautiful that is. The Stampendables are available in stores everywhere. If you don't know where to find one, go to our the About Us section or tab on our website, and we have a store locator there. And many of them, they're all getting all their Stampendables in. So, you know, check and see where they are. There's a lot of them out there. But they are awesome, and they're going fast. I can tell you that too. And I know that because stores are already reordering for the next round. So they're selling out very quickly. We do not have them on our website because we sold out of everything. We just don't have any. We sold them all to the retail stores. So I very strongly encourage you to go to them for your Stampendable. And it really is awesome. And for those of you that are wondering, you know, how is this different? This is not, I know some people have said, well, it looks like an air hockey tool. Well, yeah, it does. But it's not. It's this one is sized perfectly to fit into your hand, and we have taken very, very special care to give you a really, really wonderful thick, firm. This is about a 1/4 inch thick. The firm foam on the end here that we have tested to make sure that it is giving you a really, really fantastic transfer of even pressure across your stamps. So, so it really is made to do what we're doing with it. So it's not just, you know, it's not just your standard, you know, air hockey tool. That's, I know it looks like one, but it's not. We've taken very special care to customize and make sure that this fits exactly what we're doing so you get the best results. So, and it's really inexpensive for you too. So I love it. I've got a couple of them stationed around here, and you know, and anybody who's using it, they're going to tell you you don't want to be without it. Okay, there's my sales pitch, and that's not really for me. It's really for you guys because it's awesome. Alrighty, so let's see. We're going to trim this down. I'm going to go in this direction here. I'm going to trim this down to 3 inches now. Or was it 3.5? Oy vey. I better double check that. 3.5. Oh, that would have been just bad. I would have been making that all over again. Okay, so we've done that, but I also want to trim it this way. And I want to get a feel for, I'm looking, I've got a little, you know, piece here that where I can kind of see where things are lining up. So I really do just kind of wing it and hope that it works. All right, that looks straight. I'm going to press and hold my breath, that is. Let's hope it works. All right, so there we are. So that is going to line up, and that's going to go end to end just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put this directly onto the pink, and then I'm going to trim it out again. And yes, this is how I work when I do things. I'm not real precise with this stuff. I just kind of wing it. I mean, I want it to be straight, but I don't sit and measure a whole ton of stuff. It's kind of the reason why I don't bake too. Oh, as she slides it in the last moment, that was just great. All right, I'm going to move it closer to me. All right, hold that there. There we go. Yeah, maybe a little crooked, but it's going to serve its purpose. Or drive me nuts, one or the other. Okay. Now I'm going to do one more trim at the bottom here for that pink. And there we go. Look how pretty that is. Nice and easy. Just eyeball it. And then from here, I think I'm going to pop this up on foam. Where did my foam go? Foam go! Look how small this is getting. This foam roll is getting so small that I almost can't find it. Do that right. There we go. See, no measuring. Just wing it. All right, and I think, let's lay this on here to see where we want this to go. I think that looks pretty good there. Does that look straight? I think it looks straight too. All right, so that looks straight. And then I was a-thinking, where's my stuffs? Let me put this away before I lose bits and pieces of stuffs. Then I was thinking that, this is where I'm being daring. Do I want to do, I was thinking of doing like a little bow on here. Now, Angie hasn't done a bow in a long time. So we're going to see how this is going to turn out. I don't know if I'm going to like it. But I thought it might be pretty to put a bow over here. I don't even know if you'll see it. Let's see. Or maybe the bow goes underneath. Oh, girl. Now you're going to see me play, and then you're going to probably see me scrap the whole thing. That's kind of how it goes, where I go, I got an idea. Let's see if I want to do that. See if I can make it work. Do we have any questions from anybody?
Yes, I'm just typing one.
All right. I don't know if I'm going to like this, so I may end up cutting this off. I don't work with my string and ribbon that much anymore, so I have like a ton of it. And it's just kind of sitting there, and I feel like it's wasted. So I did a terrible job with that. It's not very tight, but I'll tape it down in the back. So Judy is saying, how does the Chloe Alpha compare in size to Sophie?
It's not the same, isn't it?
I think it's very similar in size. Yeah, I do think it's very similar. Let me see. I need to do this direction, I think. I think they're very similar in size. I didn't make this tight enough. That's going to drive me nuts. All right. Let's see if I can make this bow. I may end up just taking this whole bow thing off of here. They never work for me. I'm terrible at bows. You guys have heard, like last time I worked with a bow, I think I complained about it a lot too. And I don't normally complain about a lot of things. Oh my gosh, my fingers are too... I can't even complain about that because I don't have big fingers. But they're just getting in the way. My fingers are getting in the way. That's just too big. Ay, ay, ay. All right, I'm going to be silent for a moment while I try and make this work. Oh, actually, I think that looks kind of cute. So I'm just going to trim a little bit of that off of there. We'll see how this is going to work. I'm going to tape this down on the back because I think it's too loose. And I also want to get foam on the back because I want this popped up. So I'm going to tape that down there. You're going to watch me like do my thing here where I just try and make something work. See how loose that is? It's going to drive me bonkers. And I know that's not long enough, but I want to stretch it, and I'm going to stretch it back in the other direction so that it has that excess in the middle. And that way it looks tighter in the front. So it looks pretty. Now I need to make up for the extra foam. So that is my fix-it for the day. How to fix it if you mess up your bow and make it too loose. Oops. That's my fix anyway. Okay. And I think it looks kind of pretty. I'm actually shocked and surprised and happy, and I just have a whole string of emotions going on right now. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm so punny. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Put that down. Look how pretty. I like it. Me likey. Me likey. Hey, Mikey. All right, let's go ahead and... Oh, wow, that didn't work. Something's going on here, Alan.
Uh-oh. Gotta be flat.
Yep, that's not working. Something. Are we out? I think we're out. I think that ran out. Yeah.
Want me to fix it, or you-
No, I'll just use this one for now. Got a big chunk of glue on there, though. Get that off. A big piece of
Low-budget
glue.
operation you're running here.
I know. What's happening? We didn't test everything to make sure that we had enough of everything that we needed. I know. Amateur. It's amateur hour at LDRS Creative Studio. Oh my gosh, now I'm just making a big old mess. All right, make sure I have that right. All right, so this has to go this way. Because I do everything upside down, right? This is how I line it up so it works. So it lines up properly. There we go. And I think we are done. MR done.
Oh, not again.
MR done. I think it's so pretty. I hope you guys like it. Yay. I think it came out nice. I love this. I think it's just gorgeous. When I see gingham, I think of spring. So that's why I wanted to go with that green gingham on the outside. I just think it's super, super springy. And of course, with that kind of yellowy green in there and that beautiful pink, I just think it's so beautiful. My friend, and then you open it up, you are beautiful. I love it. Love it. All right, Alan, you want to switch us back to camera 1?
Sure.
Yay. I always like it when something works. Yay. It's so good. So good. Oh my goodness. Notice I'm still in a sweater. It's been cold here.
It snowed again today.
It snowed again today?
Yes. I'm gonna boycott.
Alan's boycotting Michigan. So here's the card. Okay. That is for the, picture I have to take. But anyway, I hope you guys like this, and I hope you guys will try this technique because it really is fun. It's easy, and I think it just really packs a lot of punch. So, and I gotta tell you, it was fun to bring my string back out. I haven't worked with string and ribbon. I used to work with it all the time. And I just thought I wanted to have something, that was gonna be understated, but give me one more little texture on here, and the string was absolutely perfect. So I love it. Okay, so it is time for a giveaway. And the giveaway today, I think, you know what we're going to give away today?
No, I have no idea.
We're going to give away the handwritten 4x6 stamp set. This is the sentiment stamp set. This is the one that I used. It does have beautiful floral pieces in there as well. And I think you're going to love this. This is one of my favorite things from the February collection. And I haven't even worked with it until today, which is shocking. So this is going to be today's prize. So hopefully you got a little comment or a hello or something out there. And Alan is going to draw a name for me. So Alan, Mr. Hunt. Lisa Brown. Lisa Brown, you are tonight's winner. You won the handwritten 4x6 stamp set. Lisa, congratulations. We need you to please send your name and your mailing address to customer service at ldrscreative.com, and we will get your handwritten stamp set out to you right away. Yay! Congratulations, Lisa. Awesome. You're going to love this. It's really, really awesome. All right, everybody. That is it for tonight. We will be back on Tuesday, same time, same place. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you will get notified in your email as soon as we have a video go live, and we put stuff out all the time. It would also be a good idea if you went ahead and subscribed to our newsletter or to our blog on our website. That way you're going to get the notifications that we're going to be going live. So as well as any newsletters or anything that we put out. So anyway, Thank you, everybody. I have no idea what I'm going to be working with on Tuesday, but I will do my best to make it fun and entertaining and creative for you guys. So have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful weekend. We will see you on Tuesday, same place, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Everybody have a great night. Thanks so much.